Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at stocks that were in play today. There were a whole bunch of stocks that were up super big, just winners all the way across the board. Tons of green on everyone's screen. We had the Bitcoin and blockchain sector was really on fire. Not only were the big board plays running, but the over-the-counter stocks were running as well. So yeah, there was just a bunch of stocks in play, and yeah, so it was really nice to see follow through on the stocks that we've been covering. Yeah, thank you for viewing this video. If you like the video at the end, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button if you could, please. Thank you. Okay, so first up's RIOT. As you can see, it closed up 27%. You know, there were some huge gains in the options today for the calls. They were up as much as 3,000% at one point today when the share price hit 46. So congrats everybody that's following our options plays. We've got a long upper wick that formed on today's candle. So check out the long pullback from high of day. So that does show profit taking. There was a gap up open today. If the candles do pull back into the bands, EMA 4 at 29.89 is going to be the key level to hold. If it pulls back below that level, that's going to be a signal of consolidation. Notice there was a big volume spike today. So you would expect with the share price being up, you know, nearly 30%, and then you've got, you know, the big move with the big volume spike, that there would be a big spike in accumulation distribution, but that just wasn't the case. There was a big spike down today, and notice how there was just a little mini green histogram bar on shaken money flow, even though there was so much volume and the share price was up so big. That's because of the long upper wick. That's because of the dilution. So it looks like they were dumping some shares into the run here, and if you look here at the 15-minute chart for RIOT, you can see it, you know, it closed all the way down below 20 on Fasto. They were able to drive it down really hard into the close. You know, it had pushed up to 46 at 3 o'clock here, and it had the climax spike. You know, you've got the big volume bar, the long upper wick, and that was followed by the red candle. The candles worked back into the bands. When EMA 4 broke, it really got going, and it did break below the middle Bollinger Band. It bounced off of this 34 support zone. It needs to stay above 36.67 tomorrow. If that 37 level turns into resistance, then you're going to see a potential drop down to the 50 simple moving average at 32. Okay, check out LFIN. Okay, closed up 222% today. Just been a wild ride for this one. Started out down here at $5. You know, it made that big move on Friday. You know, we did put out alerts. You know, this is just a crazy play. And then it had the gap up open today with that big run up to 145, and then it pulled back to 62. And then it was trading down in, you know, in the 60s and after hours trading after the Fast Money CNBC interview where the owner of the company said he thought the company was worth $5 a share. So yeah, even though the market is very hot on it, you know, he was thinking it was more fairly valued around $5. So it looks like the bears are going to attack this thing. That's what you would think. You just never know. We'll have to just follow the charts. And so what happened here is, yeah, you could see they were running up higher. Middle Bollinger Band was holding on the pullbacks, and so what you had was after the halt, you can see here that there was a halt, and then it opened on a gap down, and it never got back above the, you know, back up to this level, obviously, and 90 turned into resistance, and then you know, broke middle Bollinger Band support, and at the close it closed right at that middle Bollinger Band, currently at 71. So now being in the 60s and after hours trading, you know, that if 72 is resistance, then you're looking at a potential drop down here to the 50 simple moving average at $40. That's going to be your next major support level. So yeah, if it gets a drop below the bottom of today's channel, which is around 47, you're going to see a drop most likely down to 40, where you could see a technical bounce off of that level. Okay, look at OTIV. Closed up 121% today. Huge move. Congrats everybody. Yeah, this is another play that just, you know, it's just, you know, rocked out. It's overbought levels on our side. Fasto, you've got the parabolic move on plus DI. Notice how it just spiked almost completely vertical. So yeah, this had a nice bounce on Friday and formed formed a bullish engulfing reversal pattern. You know, the candles had been riding EMA 4 resistance lower. It closed above EMAs 4 and 8. It needed to get above EMA 13, and if it was going to do that, you know, get above EMA 13, the middle Bollinger Band was the key level to break. Well, it blew right past all those moving averages. It blew past the 50, the 100, the 200, and the 300-day simple moving averages. It's you know, got above all key levels. It also got above the key high close resistance level up here around 157 back here in October, first week of October. And so yeah, you know, I had a question from somebody in the chat was asking me how was it looking. You know, we had so many stocks that had really good charts and that were looking nice, and this had formed a spinning top intraday. You know, the share price was down here around 212 or so, and there was a small real candle body with long upper and lower wicks, and so it was forming an indecision candle, and it did not look like a good setup. Now it did push higher into the close, and it ended up forming a nice white candle. So you know, this could push higher. You know, when stocks make a big move like this and it's a parabolic move, what you have to do is follow the intraday charts, and if it's still bullish on the intraday chart, even though it has that long upper wick, it's still in play as long as that middle Bollinger Band is holding. And so I think the chart to look at for this stock is the weekly chart. And so since it's breaking out, and you can see here it's making a 52-week high, it's actually making a 2-year high, a multi-year high. Okay, so you have to go actually way back here into 2014 to find the resistance levels that are currently being hit. And it looks like up here at about 265, 270, the close from November 2014, that's going to be the big level to get through. If it can get through these candles right here, you know, a close this week above this high close from back here in February of 2017 would be very bullish. So you want to see it close above $2 for the week. You know, that's a major level. You know, it had come down, bottomed, came back up, failed to break that, and now it's trying to break out up above that level again. You know, this is looking like a big, you know, cup and handle type pattern at this level. You know, break above 2, and it could get going higher, and then potential run would be up here. You know, back up to the big level, which is where it double topped up here at around $4. And so if they can get above 260, it could potentially run up to 4. Notice it's got the giant volume spike here. There's a PSAR bull flip this week. I mean, it has a lot of bullish things going on. It's above all the moving averages on the weekly chart. If it pulls back, you want to see that 300-week moving average, which is the top moving average at 152 hold. It just needs to stay above $2. If it can stay above 2 and get above 260, it could run higher. Okay, let's go to the next one, TEUM. Okay, so yeah, so this has made a really nice move today. Congrats, everybody. I know a lot of people are in this one. It closed up 90%. This is a chart we've been working on. You know, it's back above 70 on RSI, and Fasto is maxed at 100. So yeah, so it's temporarily at overbought levels. Notice how there's no upper wick on today's candle. You know, that's a closing Amaro Bozu candle, and that just means that the bulls were in control into the last trade of the day. High of day was actually the last trade of the day. And as I put it out the alerts today on StockTwits, saying that 150 was the big level to break, and notice how it closed right at that level. And the reason why is because if you look at this chart, you'll see back here in what was this, the end of September, you know, this 150 zone was a big level, and then it started as big resistance back here in July. This 145 to 155 level, it has been big resistance. It failed to break that level back here in November, and so this is 4 times at this zone. So will it finally break above? Okay, so if it can finally get a close, you know, and bust above and turn this 150 to you know, 145 to 155 zone into support, then the next key level is going to be the 300-day simple moving average at 172. That's the target if it can turn 150 into support. If it fails to turn 150 into support, then it's going to do exactly what it's done every time, and the candles are going to work their way back into the bands. Notice how today's candle closed well above the upper Bollinger Band, and then, you know, you're going to see a drop down here to the upper Bollinger Band at 129, and then, you know, you've EMA 4 is way down here at 105. So if you look here at the weekly chart for TEUM, you can see it's actually been in a multi-month sideways channel, and so it's been you know, basically trading since this this big white candle in July. It's been trading in the sideways channel, and 150 to 160, 155 has been the top, and then you've got down here 80 at the bottom, and then right now it's at the top of this channel. The top was down here at 140. It broke above it in September, and so now if it can get above the high close in September, that should signal it wants to break out higher, and then you've got this top up here, this around 170 or so, and if it can get above this 150, it really should get moving and get above 170, and then you're looking at a potential run up here to that 200 or 100 week moving average at 181. So yeah, so this is a big crucial point on both the daily and the weekly chart, and so this is the big level to break above. As you can see here, there is a PSAR bull flip, so the green dots are now above the candles, and then check out the very bullish development. I've got so much on this chart, sorry, it can be difficult to read. This green line here is the 50-week moving average, currently at 125. So a close above that level for the week would be very bullish. There hasn't been a close above that level in many months. So that would be a huge signal that this chart is heating up for a longer term swing trade if it can get above 150. Notice there is a big volume spike. You've got a PSAR bull flip on the 8, 13, and 5. Okay, check out INTV here. Okay, yeah, this was the big winner. Closed up 291%. Congrats, everybody. This is one that we've been, this has been one of our chat plays. And so, yeah, this is why it pays to be in the chat. We have lots of plays like this that end up paying off. And, you just get rewarded by being in the premium. It's totally worth it. It's a good investment on your future. Okay, check this out. You've got this big breakout on Friday above high close horizontal resistance, and that was the signal. So we did put out alerts when this candle here was forming above the closing price on the first trading day in December. Notice how it was in this tight channel. That signaled that it wanted to head higher. And so that was the big bull signal. So everybody was loading on Friday, and there was huge reward today. It broke out. I mean, it hit all the way up at 670. Congrats, everyone. This was a monster winner. It was all in the charts. I mean, all I did was relay the message for, everybody, it can be very easy if you learn the patterns, and then you just follow the charts. And so that's all I'm doing here. The break above was just the signal that you want to take a position, and it was on a volume spike. There was a PSAR bull flip, and then you had the bullish crossovers on MACD on both time frames. So it was a really good setup, and then so there was nice follow through today. Congrats, everybody. That was a nice move. And then if you look at the weekly chart, you can see here that it's breaking above the key level on the weekly chart that we want to see break, and that's the 100-week moving average at $3.94. So we want to see a close above that for the week, and then check out how it's hitting the key resistance from back here in June of 2016. We want to see a break above that level, and that will put the $10 level on deck. So yeah, so this has got really big volume behind it, and it's been pushing higher. If you look down here at this 15-minute chart, you will see how we called this out on Friday. So I'm not just pulling your chain there. We actually not only called it out, but we posted analysis in real time in our chat, alerting our chat members that, hey, check this out. This thing is really setting up here. And, we were doing a case study. It had the very tight Bollinger Bands right here. I try to do case study, if I can every day where I follow a chart and I post it, updates throughout the morning and until the chart breaks down. And we use that as a way to learn. And as you can see, this had very tight Bollinger Bands, and when it broke above, it signaled it was in play. And what we were looking for was a break above this closing price at 1130, and that did happen here at 1245. That signaled more upside, and look at the giant reward. This is what happens when you're a premium chat member. Come check it out. Good times. Okay, DIGAF, another premium chat member play, closed up 130% today. This is another one that was on our radar for just wanting to see a break above key resistance, and that finally happened today. And so intraday, the move above this closing price here on the 27th was signaling more upside potential. So if let's say you were you missed it down here, and then you were wondering, oh, where do I jump in? The time to jump in was like if you missed all this down here, was the break above the high close resistance level, and then you use that as your stop loss. As long as it stays above 42.5, you can keep riding. And so that was a really nice move between 42.5 and 69 today. Notice it did close above the upper Bollinger Band. Sometimes the candles do work into the bands after a stock up closes well above. So we'll see if that is going to happen here. There was a PSAR bull flip, a giant volume spike. Notice the MACD bull crosses, all signals that the chart is really heating up. It did close at 99 on Fasto, and RSI is at overbought levels. Okay, so let's look at the 15-minute chart. And so you can see here on the 15-minute chart, this was the chart we made today, and that was similar to what we said on the other chart where we put out the alert that it needed to close above the closing price here, and then that did happen. And this is what I'm talking about, being able to jump in. You know, this is the candle right here at 2:30. You jump in, bam, you ride it to glory. Yeah, this one really worked out well. It was the close above resistance that was the signal that it wanted to head higher. So if you want to learn more about these type of chart patterns, come check us out. This is the weekly chart, and this is showing the next key resistance level and the next target here, and that's the 100-week moving average at 79.91. Okay, so it needs to break above 80 cents. If it can close above 80 for the week, that'll signal it wants to head higher, and then we have this dollar land level. Okay, so you have the high close here. If you can bust through that, then it could really get moving. You can see the 200-week moving average is way up here at $5. Okay, let's look at BTCS. This closed up 61% today. Yeah, you know, RSI and Fasto are now at overbought levels. It was, congrats everybody. I know a lot of people were in this one, so cool. You know, that was very nice to see. Closed up with a big gain. Way to go. Way to hang in there. You know, we knew that this move was, we were anticipating that this move was coming, and so it was nice that it followed through and paid off. Congrats everybody. It heated up on Friday. It had bounced off of the middle Bollinger Band. Notice all the moving averages have converged down here between 10 and basically 13 cents, and we wanted to see 13 hold and the break above 13 to signal it wanted to head higher. It closed above the 100-day simple moving average at 13 on Friday. That was the bull signal. Today was the follow through. It got above the 14 and 15 resistance zones, and then it actually even got above the 18 resistance zone. That was huge, and so you know that was a big level, a big high close resistance level and support level from back here in August. And so then it ran up to the next zone, the 24 resistance zone. If it can get above 24, this could run back up to 40. You know, 42 was the recent high close on the previous big run. The other stocks in the sector have been filling the jar back to previous levels, and so that's where this should be headed if it can hold support. If you want to see it stay above 18, if it drops below 18, then that would signal consolidation. Really needs to keep that to keep the really healthy chart going. You know, holding EMA4 at 17 support. If you look at the weekly chart here, you can see it's right above this. It's hitting right here at the key resistance level. It's got the descending resistance at 25, and then it has the horizontal resistance at 24. So if it can break above 25 and close above that level, then you could see a run up here to 35, which is the high close from back here in November of 2016. So get above 25, 35 will be the next target. Okay, let's look here at MGTI. So yeah, this had the really nice breakout today. Congrats everybody. Closed up 36%. Another one of our plays we've been following. You know, it just took a little patience with these ones that weren't running. You know, Bitcoin was going nuts, and we had all these Bitcoin stocks going crazy, and we had BTCS, MGTI, GAHC, and BITCF all just sitting there doing nothing. I should have put up the BITCF chart, but it's on the grays. That broke out. It was at 50 cents, and I told everybody this is going to pop at some point. It had the really tight Bollinger Bands. Eventually it would run, and it did run all the way up to, I think, $2.50. So that was huge percentage gains. If you look here, MGTI did the same thing as far as finally broke out. You know, it had this basically, you know, it was trading in a sideways channel. You know, it traded down, it bounced, it hit support, and it came back up. And what we were looking for was a break above the high close from back here in September. You know, and that finally happened on the 11th. You know, it kept breaking out higher, and then it got above the high close from back here in August. And so you know, that finally happened on Friday. So notice how it had closed right at that level. What it had done, it filled the jar back up to the August resistance level, and it was struggling with breaking that. And then the close above on Friday, that was your clue that okay, it wants to head higher. It closed above resistance finally, and so that was the clue. That was the signal. And today it did pay off. So that was cool. You know, it followed through the chart signal correctly. Now keep in mind there are some gaps in the chart. There's a gap between these two candles. You know, there's a gap between these two candles. So gaps do get filled in penny land. So if the chart does break down, you know, the gaps become targets for refill. So yeah, EMA 4 at 460 is the key level to hold. If you look here at the weekly chart, we had been showing you a 1-year weekly chart, 3-month weekly chart, and it had filled the jar back up to that level. That was at the $4 level, and then it broke above. This was looking like a cup and handle type pattern with the $4 zone, 420 as the top of the jar, the neckline, and it finally broke above that. It busted above here this week, and so we want to see that 420 that 4 to 440 level turn into support, and then the next key resistance levels are all the way back here in 2012. So yeah, it's got to bust above the $6 zone, you know, from 2012, and if it can do that, then 7 was a really big level, you know. So this is huge right here. The $6 to $7 level is going to be a big zone for this stock. You know, it's all the way back to 2012 levels. It's breaking above this 2013 level. Yeah, so MGTI, you know, it really kept going. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of following now that it's on the OTC, but it's really made huge percentage gains this year from the lows down here at 50 cents. You know, it's 1,000% gainer. So yeah, in less time, you know, in a few months. So that's congrats. So yeah, so 7 is going to be the big level to break. Okay, let's look at GAHC. It's a daily chart here. It came down. It double bottomed. It formed a double bottom down here, and then it started uptrending, and then it had this descending resistance line here, and we are looking for a break above, and then that finally happened a couple weeks ago. It pulled back. It got back above on the 11th, and the candles have been pushing higher. You know, it got above the high close resistance level, and that was a bullish signal, you know, on Friday. So when it closed above the closing price here on Friday, that signaled more upside, and it closed just above the key level here from August, and that signaled more upside as well. It is amazingly, it keeps following through and breaking above the key levels, and then so once again today you have another key level, the June high close resistance level at 0.55. That was the next target. It closed above that as well, so it's pretty amazing. It's closing above everything. Now you have 0.075. That was the high basically from back here in June, and so it could double top. That could be the double top level. This could be the climax already today. Look at the giant volume spike. You know, it pushed well above the upper Bollinger Band. It hit the key resistance level. You know, you want to see 5.5 hold. If it breaks below 5.5, 4.34 will be on deck. To the upside, it needs to break 7.5. Okay, now let's look at the weekly chart for GAHC, and this gives us another idea of the next resistance zone, and that's the 200-week moving average at 0.0763. Notice how that 7 number's coming up again, you know, the 7.5 from up here. So it looks like it's set up to test that high, you know, the high from back here in June, which could see a top by hitting that 200-week moving average at 7.6. So it's going to need to close above that level to head higher. If it fails to do so, you could see it pause and take a little breather. Notice it is breaking above key resistance levels this week. You know, it's breaking above the key June resistance level, and so that's super huge. That's signaling more upside potential. And then, you know, really the big level is just going to be right here at this 200-week moving average. Okay, let's look at, you know, just to change gears a little bit. We've had tons of winners, but we also have, and these last plays were the Bitcoin blockchain related plays, but we have a lot of other plays as well, and the marijuana sector has been really hot. And so here's NXTF. It broke out higher today, closed up 35%. Notice it's pushing big time. It broke out. It's been holding EMA 4 currently at 110. You want to see that support level hold. You know, it got above the dollar level. The dollar level was a tough level to break. It was, you know, hit it a few times, the upper wicks. It tried to break it here on the 28th of November. And so finally today it busted above $1. You want to see that turn into support. It had a nice volume spike. You know, it's pushing to that next level. If you look here at the 15-minute chart, this is what we posted today, saying that, you know, it needed to break above this closing price at 10 o'clock, and then, you know, that finally happened here at 1:30. That signaled more upside, and notice that after it closed above that level, bam, it just kept running higher. So keep that in mind. Always draw your horizontal resistance lines to signal when a stock is going to be breaking out to that next level. If it fails to break, that signals a temporary top and that consolidation is coming. Okay, so let's look at the weekly chart. You can see here it's coming up to that next key level on the weekly chart, which is over here in 2014. Yeah, you got to go all the way back in 2014 to find the current levels that are being hit, and 150 is the big level. If it can get above 150 and close above this 150 zone for the week, it could head higher, and then you could see it run up to this 210 level, which was the high from June. It's filling the jar. You know, it's working its way back up. You know, we put out alerts way down here at 20 cents. Just another monster, you know, a huge winner. Okay, let's look at FVRD. This is another Bitcoin blockchain stock that we alerted on Friday. You know, our members got the alert. I recommend you go into our premium chat. It's really worth it. It's only 50 to 66 cents a day. 50 cents to 66 cents. It's like what I said to my son, my youngest son, you know, what can you buy for 50 cents? And he thought about it for a second. He said nothing. And that's pretty much true. I mean, you can't really buy anything for 50 cents, but you could get a premium access each day for only 50 cents if you buy a one-year subscription. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And so on Friday, we posted an alert saying that this was closed above resistance. And then look today, boom, it broke out higher. So that close above 0.0114 on Friday was the clue that it was heating up, and then it followed through. So we want to see a break above 0.026 to signal that it wants to head higher. And then QSPW was another one that we saw on Friday. That this is one we've been watching. You know, we watched it pull back. Friday it closed above resistance. I put out alerts. It's closing above the penny level. That was the big level to break. The close above signaled more upside. We wanted to see a break above 0.013. That happened today. You know, really nice percentage gains. Big move for QSPW. These are Bitcoin blockchain related stocks. US and their trade over the counter. And USTC is the last one in this video. It just has a nice uptrend going. It's riding EMA's 4 and 8 support going. As long as they're holding, it signals more upside. The close on Friday was above high close resistance, which was the top of this candle. That signaled more upside. Boom, you're rewarded today. So it's cool when the charts follow through. They don't always follow through like that, so I am just saying that, you know, like it's not always magic where every single time they follow through, but it's beautiful when they do. It's nice, you know, when you have just winner after winner after winner. So yeah, it's just really awesome to be able to know how to read the charts, and I like to share that information. So if you'd like to learn more, please come, you know, check out the link at the end of this video, YouTube video. And if you like the video, please hit the like button, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, thank you very much.